Sadhguru, thank you very much for what you're doing and for who you are. You helped me a lot, and I wanted to ask you something. You talk a lot about consciousness, conscious planet, right? So why aren't we naturally conscious? Why do we need something big to happen, something to shake us, and then we start thinking about that and become more conscious? And it seems it's been like this in the past, and now, why aren't we natural?
Why aren't we naturally conscious? Because you're not natural. That's why. So just see how much of your life is life and how much of it is your psychological drama. Please look at it. For most human beings, not even 1% is life, 99% is their own psychological drama or social drama. Hello? That's the only problem. If you reduce your psychological drama or make it in such a way that you're a good director, that means drama is happening as you want. If you're a good director, drama should happen just the way you want, isn't it? You're the director but drama is going wild. Then where is the question of being conscious? Because everything is happening, even psychological situations are happening accidentally, life situations will be the same consequence. For most human beings, at least those of you who are here in this hall, nothing really terrible has happened because you're still alive, hello? If you're alive, nothing so terrible has yet happened to you. I hope it never does. But nothing too terrible has happened to you, you're okay. Because I want you to understand, you think, oh no, I lost my money, most terrible, I lost this person, most terrible. No, I want you to look at this. Have you been to a funeral? Anybody's funeral? You've been. That guy is lying down like this. You go and tell him, what is the best Bulgarian food which is everybody's mouth waters? What? Huh? Banita. Banita? Banisa. You go and tell him, Banisa, Banisa. You tell him, $1 billion right here, right here. You tell him, most beautiful woman is here. You tell him anything. Why do you think this guy is like this? Because once life is taken out of him, that guy is not interested in a damn thing in the universe. Hello? Because that's all you have. Rest is all your imagination. The only and only goddamn thing you have is you have life. That's the most precious thing and the only thing you have. Yes or no? Rest is all imagination. Now, your own imagination has become so big that you're walking like this and you're willing to die because somebody said something. Somebody just called you an idiot, what about it? Hello? What's wrong with truth, I'm asking? Because if somebody can freak your life with one word that they say, obviously they're telling you the truth, isn't it? People, yesterday somebody is asking me, Sadhguru, how do you manage? We are on social media, here and there we find people criticizing us, saying nasty things about us, we can't take it. How do you take it? 25 years they're continuously accusing you of all kinds of things. I said, what can I do? It's dog's pleasure to bark. When somebody says something, I don't ignore them, I listen carefully. If there's some truth about it, let's fix it. If it is not, that's the way it is with them. But if you know what you're doing is significant enough, what somebody says, what does it matter? Hello? Hello? What somebody says matters because you have shaped your whole life on other people's opinions. Yes or no? You know, we are a volunteer-run organization. About 5,600 full-time volunteers, over 17,000 part-time volunteers. What a volunteer-run organization means is, nobody is trained for the job. Everybody is enthusiastic. And you cannot fire them because they're volunteers. You run something like this, you'll go crazy, believe me. So people keep coming to me every other day and say, Sadhguru, I can't work with her, she's so horrible, I can't do it anymore. I say, see, on this planet, this is the kind of horrible people there are. Like this one, like this one, like this one, like this one, this is the kind of horrible people there are. If you see that what you're doing is significant, you learn to work with these horrible people. If you want to work with perfect people, go to heaven and today. Hello? If you do… what you're doing is important, you must work with people who are there. You want work with those perfect monuments, you must go. Today, you shouldn't postpone it. Hey, when you're going to heaven, can you postpone it? You cannot postpone it, you have to go there soon, isn't it? Because if I get there, I'll come and disturb that also. Before I go, you must go. No, I'm joking with you. I'm saying the problem is this, that you have become more of a psychological and social creature, not an existential life. Your first life, then everything else, isn't it so? Even your gender, your social position, your education, your nationality, your race, your religion, everything is secondary. First thing is your life, isn't it? This is why soil, save soil, need not be just an ecological movement. This can be a, globally unifying humanity kind of movement because we have found every kind of difference. If you look at you, oh, what is your nationality, what is your gender? Gender is also a question now, we can't make out anymore. What is your gender, what is your race, what is your religion, what is your caste, what is your creed, what nonsense political philosophy do you believe in? We have found every possible way as to how to separate ourselves. We definitely need some common ground, isn't it? If you do not understand what is cosmic consciousness, at least understand the very body that you carry is soil. Yes or no? Yes. Oh, I'm Bulgarian soil. Suppose if I die in Bulgaria or they bury me in Bulgaria and you die 100 years later, I'm giving you 100 years extra, okay? You can't complain. You die 100 years later and they bury you right next to me, then your body also becomes part of the soil without any resistance. My body also becomes part of the same soil. Will we get it now or will we get it then? That's the only question we have. So when we say consciousness, we are talking about a dimension beyond the boundaries of this body. What is it that makes you and me separate? This is my body, that's your body. This is my mind, that's your mind. Here and there our minds may overlap, but my mind is my mind, my body is my body, your body is your body, isn't it? But when you say life, there is no such thing as my life and your life. This is a living cosmos. You captured some, I captured some. It is like two little children are blowing soap bubbles. This is my bubble, that's your bubble. Poop. This is my air, this is your air, is it? I'm asking. Hello? Is it so? This is my air and that's your air? There's no such thing. Similarly, when we say life, we are talking about that. When we say soil, we are talking about that. There is no such thing as yours and mine. This yours and mine is to play a little drama, you got to be you, I got to be me. If If you're making a drama, I don't know what's the mythological dramas here, what do you play, huh? Let's say you're playing Ramayana. All of us can't be Ram, all right? Somebody has to play Ravan. Hello? Yes or no? All of us will play the same role. Is it possible? No, to play different roles, all of us are wearing different costumes, playing different roles, perfectly fine. But the moment you start believing what's happening in your head as reality, then you are breaking the world in many different ways and breaking your own consciousness into pieces. So this is all you have to do. People ask me, when an American lady came, she was very angry with me. She said, Sadhguru, how did this happen to you? I have been doing yoga for 40 years, nothing happened to me. And you just went and sat on that rock and it happened. Where is the damn rock? Oh, it's not in the rock, ma'am, but if you want to find the rock, I can point out, you can carry it home. It's just this. If you do not identify yourself with anything, you understand identity is just a role that you play in the world. If you don't take it very seriously, if you don't become too big of that, then to be conscious is natural. Your problem or the world's problem is right now this. See, in this vast cosmos, doesn't matter whether you're a scientific person or a religious person, you still don't know where it begins, where it ends, isn't it? Hello? Both do not know. That's a good equality, at least. In everything else they argue. Both men of science and men of religion, both do not know where it begins, where it ends. In such a vast cosmos, this solar system is a tiny speck. In that tiny speck of a solar system, planet Earth is a microspeck. In that microspeck, Bulgaria is a super microspeck. In that super microspeck, Sofia is a super microspeck. In that, you're a big man. This is a very serious issue. It's a very serious issue when such a speck of a life thinks too much of itself, only disasters can happen. So consciousness means just this, that in your life you begin to experience yourself beyond the framework of your body, because this is what the boundary is. You need to understand the physical exists only because of a defined boundary. If there was no physical boundary to this, if there's no boundary to this, I cannot say this is my body, isn't it? Hello? If this was all over the place, could I call this my body? Only because of a defined boundary, this is my body right now. So, the physical definition, you know your body you slowly accumulated. Hello? You're not born like this. Hello? You slowly accumulated the food that you've eaten. What is that? Banisa. Banisa. Oh, banisa. Huh? Well, banisa and whatever else, slowly we accumulated. What you accumulate can be yours. I will not dispute that for now, but cannot be you, isn't it? Hello? If you just understand this much, experientially, you will naturally become conscious. There's simply no other way to be. So consciousness is not something one day it'll explode. You are consciousness. If you're not conscious, how would you know you're here? The question is, how conscious? Right now, before when those ladies were singing here, somebody was playing with the lights, I think, it did not light them up. Why? Not enough light. If you put on only one light, you will be seeing only 3 people who are standing here. Then you think only 3 people are there. If you light up 2 more lights, oh, you will see, oh, 25 people are here. If you light up the whole hall, suddenly you see, oh, so many things are here, all right? This is all it is. You are already conscious, little low energy. Why low energy is? You're building too much inertia in the body. When I say inertia in the body, one thing is, see, for most human beings, their whole life is about making arrangements for their body and their psychological comfort. Physical comfort, psychological comfort. Entire life goes in this. Just settling the hair. You know, somebody was telling me, there is more… the volume of money invested in hair care is about 3 times or 4 times more than what is spent on brain neurology in the world. No, I'm not saying anything about this thing, it's good. It looks good. You're not investing anything. You must stand up and show them what kind of… say he's not in… So, I'm not commenting on hairstyle or this or that, I'm saying our focus is so wacky, out of place. The most important thing is, how do you experience your own life? That is never come into experience for most people because their thoughts and emotions are clouding everything. There may be rare moments where human beings are experiencing the life that they are. Otherwise, it's not in your experience. If you experience that, being blissful is very natural because you're no more a psychological case. This doesn't mean you don't have a mind. Like, if I want, I move my hand, otherwise I keep it here, right? That's what you're also doing. There's some like this, because that's a certain problem. Your hands and feet are legs are in control, they do just what you want to do. Right now, your mind is hopping all over the place. How can you say that you can ever be conscious when your mind is jumping all over the place? How do I control it? How do I control it? You don't have to control it, you need to liberate it from this compulsiveness. This compulsiveness has come to you because you've gotten identified with things that you're not. Will you get this now, or will you only get it when mortality takes over? This is all the choice human beings have. There are only 2 things in your life. There is a certain amount of time and a certain amount of energy. Time is rolling away for all of us, the same speed, isn't it? Since you came and sat here, you are 2 hours closer to your grave. All of us. Yes or no? Yes. We are. Because time is going away, we can't stop it. You can't say, oh, yesterday I didn't use, let me rewind my yesterday and use it today. There is no such arrangement anywhere. Time is just rolling away. So the only thing you can manage is your energies. Depending on how you manage your energies, accordingly your life will become in experience. The pleasantness and profoundness is determined by that, and also the impactfulness of activity is also determined by that. How pleasant and how significant you being alive is within yourself, this will be decided by how conscious you are. How conscious you are depends on how bright the lights are. How bright the light is simply depends on how much voltage. So, there are methods and many methods as to how to raise the intensity of the life that you are. If you're very intense, you will naturally be conscious. Don't try to be conscious, because in the name of being conscious, people are telling you, be in the moment. What they're telling you is, see, I'm asking you this, can you be somewhere else and show it to me? Hello? Can you be somewhere else? No. You can only be here. So essentially they're telling you, do not think about the past, do not think about the future. As I said earlier, it took millions of years to get to this level of cerebral capability. Now somebody is telling you, do not think about the past, do not think about the future. The significance of being human is, we have a vivid sense of memory. That's why our lives are rich. And we have a fantastic sense of imagination. That is why we can do all the things that we do. If these 2 things you give up because somebody is giving you philosophy, be in the moment, well, as I told you, if you remove half the brain, you will be in the moment, always. The nature of human mind is such, you can run parallelly 2 dozen streams of thought. and still be perfectly fine with yourself. Only then you will do something significant. If you can't even think one thing at a time, you'll get stressed. Then you need some attention to this, how to make this work, isn't it? You should never be the issue in your life. There are 1,000 issues in the world, we can pick up whatever we can pick up and solve them. But you should not be the issue, isn't it, in your life? But just please look at it, most of the time, people themselves are the big issue in their life, their own thought, their own emotion, their own actions, their own compulsions. So, being conscious means just that. Just raise the intensity of life, you will naturally be conscious. That's why everybody wants to climb on top of the mountain. When they stand on top of the mountain and look down, suddenly it looks like a different perspective. That's where you should be, always. The peak of your consciousness always feels like that. It's my wish and my blessing. This must happen to you. Now coming to Safe Soil, we will be speaking at COP15 in the month of May. We want to move 3 billion people before that. Why are we talking about these 3 billion people is, see, people are in the government, please ask them and see, do they have intention or not? They have intention, but they have concerns. If they invest in something that bears result after 10, 15, 20 years, will you people stand with them or no? This is the concern of every government on the planet. Will you be with them? That's all I'm asking. If the people… because most nations are democratic, I want you to understand, a democratic nation means we've elected governments for 4 years or 5 years in different nations. You give them a 4-year term, and then what are they supposed to do? First you must understand, governments are not elected to do something fantastic. They are elected to fulfill people's mandate. Hello? So they are trying to fulfill the people's mandate. In how many years? Within the 4 years. If you want them to invest in something which will bear result after 15 years, whenever any government did that in most parts of the world, the next election for sure they lost. Yes, this has been the reality of the world. So this is what we are trying to move in the world, people giving assurances to their governments, if you take steps to protect the future of our nation and our children, we are with you. Are you with them? Let's make it happen.